And just like that, I am back for another review for Countdown to Christmas 2023. My name is Dara. This is Dear Hallmark. And let's get into Under the Christmas Sky, starring Jessica Parker Kennedy and Ryan Paevey. Under the Christmas Sky is about a young woman named Kat, who is an astrophysicist who recently got into a car accident that has it's affected her vision. She has a blind spot in her left eye. And so because of that blind spot, she is not able to go into space like her heart desires. And so she's still on medical leave. And while she's on medical leave, she begins to consult with the planetarium in Kansas City, which is where we're set here in this movie. And so she works with the curator of the planetarium, David, played by Ryan Paevey, and they work together to do an exhibit about the sun. And she finds some connections between Christmas and the sun, and they get closer together. And David has a daughter named Lila, and Lila loves all things about space, and Kat loves all things about the sun. And so Kat and Lila get close, and then David and Kat get close, and then Kat's brother Andy and Celeste, the barista at the planetarium, get close, and then Andy and Kat, bust on each other and clown on each other because they're brother and sister. And then they all live happily ever after in a home that I don't know how their parents can afford because they're both librarians. And so that's Under the Christmas Sky. And so coming off of Where Are You Christmas with Lindsay Fonseca and Michael Rady, I was very much looking forward to Under the Christmas Sky. It looked mad chill. I'm rooting for Paevey, Ryan, you know what I'm saying? So I'm watching it. Already I'm captivated by the leading lady. JPK, you already got a nickname. Jessica Parker Kennedy, JPK, you're here. You in it. I need you on the roster. I need to see her in a summer girlfriends flick. I need her with some girlfriends. I feel like she would thrive in one of those scenarios. I need her in a girlfriend's flick. Preferably something that's a little city slicker-ish, much like our girl Vanessa Lynge's from Take Me Back for Christmas, where she was in a nice coat. So maybe it's spring. Let's try Spring Into Love. Let's try JPK for Spring Into Love. But I enjoy JPK in this. I really, really like her. And at first, when I was watching her, I'm like, oh, she might be too young for Paevey. But the more they grew on me. Like, this movie is very conflicting for me as a podcaster, reviewer, fan, and viewer. Because I enjoyed it. I found myself smiling for reasons I didn't know why. But I know when I would come outside myself, I saw myself going like I was looking through almost closed eyes because of how much I was smiling. When I was just like, I'm like, no, I'm not squinting. I'm smiling. Like, that's how much I'm smiling. And I didn't know this movie would hit me the way that it did. However, there's still part of me that wanted more from Paevey. Like, I knew why he was distant, because he's stuck in his ways. He likes his things a certain way. He's very protective over his daughter, as he should be. And so that gives off a certain personality type, which Paevey conveyed. But at the same time, and we saw it here and there with his facial expressions and things like that, I just feel like I just wanted more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I enjoyed it, and I loved Paevey in this movie. But I just wanted more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted more. That brother stole the show for me. Sir. Stole the show. Stole the show. Her and him need a series together. Their brother-sister chemistry worked perfectly. I didn't know where it was going to go in the beginning. Honestly, I thought he was her boyfriend in the beginning. So I'm glad they established the familiar relationship. But I enjoyed them together, and I think they should do a series. And the mom and the dad... You guys, I'm laughing not because something was particularly funny, but because I'm just filled with so much glee. And that's what this movie was so feel good. This movie was so feel good. And the dad was one of those, like, he was... Okay, there was a funny part that happened. Andy and the dad, when I think it was on Christmas Eve, because Andy was wearing those suspenders with the tie. And then the dad tried to do that okey doke, made you look. And then he was too slow. And Andy called him out on it. Instead of like going with it and just saying, oh, like he said, no, like, you're too slow, Dad. Like, you're too slow. I loved that humor between the family, that they called out the obvious and made fun of it. That contributed to the joy for me. And I want to go over that how I want to know the type of library that they were librarians for them to afford that house. Do Kansas City librarians, one of my fan leaders, Danielle, she's a Hallmark Channel fan leader. She's in Kansas City. And then Jenny, our chief fan officer, she's a librarian. I need the two of you to conspire and try to reconcile how these two librarians in Kansas City were able to afford a house like that. I just need to know, was it a university library? Was it the Library of Congress, Kansas City chapter? Was it the Library of the CDC? Like, I need to know what library we are librarying over, so that I can possibly find some online courses and then shimmy my way on into that profession so that I can afford that house, okay? And with that, I loved the parents, their house. I loved that mom. She was just that long swig of hot chocolate, and you find it's too sweet, but it makes you smile. Like, that was the mom for me. It's just like, oh my gosh, she's so cheery. And I like it. And that was her for me. I think, was her name Jenny? I think her name was Jenny. And the dad's name was Bill. This movie is an interesting one. I'm going to give it a 3.5 crown. Here is the half crown. Because it's almost a solid movie, but I'm docking it that half crown because I wanted more from Paevey. So that's why and you see how much I'm smiling, you guys. Just thinking about this movie, I can definitely see myself watching it again for sure. And I can also see it as a background watch while I'm working on something. And not a background watch in a bad way. Like a background watch in a comforting way. You know what I'm saying? Like, one time I put on Wedding Veil Inspiration as a background comfort watch while I was cleaning. Like, sometimes for me, background watches are comforting. And sometimes background watches are, I just need something on my screen to kill the time, but I don't care about it. You know what I'm saying? I have degrees of background watches. I know, I understand. I am very complicated and I'm sorry. But yes, Under the Christmas Sky gets 3.5 crowns from me. A standout scene. Is it him putting on her necklace? Is it them eating each other's fries and planning the exhibit? I think the brother is a standout scene just in general. Let's just put that out there. Anytime the brother was on screen, I enjoyed him. I loved the leading ladies. I loved Kat's best friend. I forget her name. Her energy was so relatable. She gave you like that type that'll bust on you, but like, she'll tell you the truth. She'll crack on you, but she'll be there for you. And I love it because my friends crack on me and I on them, but it's all in jest. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are family and friends if not the clown? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. I really did. I'm just trying to think, is there anything else? Oh, the part where Paevey was talking about, him and her, Paevey and Kat, David and Kat, were sitting on the red bench right after he got upset that Kat was with his daughter without his knowledge, and his daughter was upset. And then David was explaining to Kat that situation where his daughter got hurt and he didn't know because she tried to hide it from him. Go ahead, Paevey. Go ahead, fam. And then the opening scene where Kat finds out that she won't be able to go into space because of she doesn't have 20/20 vision. Friend, JPK, you better act your behind off. You better act. You better act. She did that so well. And Lila's a little sugar cookie. She's a little sugar cookie. Love it. Love it. A little sugar cookie with some cayenne, though. I see she got some feisty in her. She's definitely feisty. But she's a sugar cookie nonetheless. I'm trying to see what else. Yeah, I like the planetarium theme. It reminded me of the Franklin Institute here in Philadelphia, which is a science museum. Very, very popular science museum. It's been featured in Abbott Elementary. What's that movie? National Treasure? Duh. National Treasure. They filmed in front of it. I think they went inside, right? Dang. I gotta watch that movie again. But it's a very, very reputable science museum. And that planetarium reminded me of the Franklin Institute, and it made me want to go to the Franklin Institute. And it's one of those, the Franklin Institute is one of those science museums. It's not just select to astronomy in terms of its science. It's medical. And they have pop culture exhibits, which is incredibly interesting. And I've never visited one of their pop culture exhibits. So they've done Harry Potter, Disney, celebrating 100 years of Disney, the Avengers. They've done different exhibits, but I've never seen how they were able to relate the exhibits, or if they related the exhibits to science. And so seeing this movie, I want to go to the Franklin Institute, A, and then B, see their featured pop culture exhibit to see if it is related to science in any way, or if it's just a pop culture exhibit. So that was a lot of words, but I just finished the movie. So it's Sunday night right now. So I'm just letting everything settle, letting all the planetarium dust settle. But that's kind of how I feel in my Hallmark heart. If things change, be sure to subscribe to find out if I give it a bump up of a half a crown, or if I knock it down a half a crown, or if it'll just stay the same. We'll see as we continue down this beautiful, beautiful ride of Countdown to Christmas 2023. What an opening weekend. I mean, we had Kim Matula, Lindsay Fonseca, Jessica Parker Kennedy. We had Kevin McGarry, Michael Rady, Ryan Paevey. That's an opening weekend if I ever saw one. Okay. So happy opening weekend, you guys. We're now settling in. The second weekend, if I remember correctly, we have our first Miracles of Christmas movie. The first one is Miss Christmas Comes to Town, which stars Mama Chesapeake herself, Barbara Niven. Love her. I love her. I love her. And I don't think I've ever been this excited for a Miracles of Christmas movie. I miss Barbara Niven. I know we just saw her on Zest for Death, but there's something so beautiful and radiant and comforting and cheerful about that woman's performance that I want to see her on my screen all the time, which is why I love Chesapeake Shore so much. And I miss that show so much. So we have Miss Christmas Comes to Town Thursday night at 8. Then we have Christmas by Design, or In Design. I forget the preposition that's used there, on Friday, which stars Rebecca Dalton and Jonathan Keltz. Rebecca Dalton we saw on New Year's Day opposite Corey Sevier in The Dog Lover's Guide to Dating. And then we saw Jonathan Keltz. He's our resident prince, I call him. Once Upon a Prince, Fit for a Prince, and he was also in Falling for Look Lodge. That wasn't a Prince themed, but that's a little, listen, Falling for Look Lodge, don't sleep. If you want something that gives you the fall feels and you don't care about the story, watch that movie. Watch it. I watched it on the train ride for my birthday trip to Boston. Watch it. So that's Friday. Saturday, we got my guy. Let Chandler Massey better stop messing around. I promise you. If this movie knocks me off my feet and out of my Christmas socks, he's about to be on my Mount Rushmore. I'm not playing. Between Next Stop Christmas, Heart of the Matter. You could just stop right at Heart of the Matter. Professional Bridesmaid. If he comes in at number, if this movie, okay. Oh, and we can't forget about A Tale of Two Christmases. So then it's Mystic Christmas, and then Jessie Schramm. We haven't seen her in a minute and a half. Welcome back, Jessie. No, yes, we did. She was in Time for Somebody to Come Home. Somebody was coming home for Christmas. Was it her? It might have been her. I think that was 2021. Yeah, because that was her and Brendan Penny. My gosh. The chemistry. I mean, pick up the drool. The chemistry was outstanding. This video is already longer than I want it to be, so let's hurry this up. So Jessie Schramm and Chandler Massey, Mystic Christmas, and then rounding us out, Brand Daugherty and JC Elliott and Joy Noel. We're in France. We are in France. Our first destination Christmas movie of the season. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's do it. Well, I'm Dara. This is Dear Hallmark. Be sure to subscribe. There's some links in the show notes so you can get familiar with the home of Dear Hallmark. And in the meantime, between time, my friends, make sure to watch a countdown to Christmas movie that you love. And I'll talk to you later. Ciao, my friends.